Okay, before we start discussing how to spawn new strips, because the idea is, let me switch back over here to Unity. The idea is that as the chicken keeps on jumping, we want to spawn new strips ahead of the preliminary strips that we've created. And as we do that, we're going to have to think about some of the different patterns. So let me switch back over here to my graphics software to explain to you how we're going to work on this, or how we're going to think or approach this. So as you can see here, we have 4 different types of roads that we've created in voxel, magic of voxel. And one of the roads is just plain, right? The other one is a bottom strip where you can see the dividing line at the bottom. The next one is where we have it where there's dividing lines on the top and the bottom of the road. And then we have one where the dividing lines are at the top of the road. So let's say that we are going to select one of these randomly, okay? And these will be inside of an array, say for example. So, index 0 is this one, index 1 is this one, index 2, index 3. All right. So you select one of these randomly. Let's say that we pick this one over here. So I'm going to duplicate it, move it over here. All right. So if I have a road that looks like this, then because it doesn't have any top dividing lines or bottom dividing lines, this road will stand on its own. And we'll have a grass strip on the top. Will most likely be coming from a grass strip from the bottom, because what we want to do is we want to alternate between grass strip, road strip, grass strip, road strip. But we do have some exceptions, namely for the road strip, if we pick a particular road that has one of these dividing lines, like these top 3, then we are kind of like bound to a certain criteria. But if we pick the road that has no strip, then we just simply go from a grass strip at the bottom here, a road strip, and then a grass strip above it. Okay. So now let's say that because we have some options, right? Let's say we're coming from a grass strip that's down here. So we have a grass strip. In fact, let me just go ahead and do something like this here just to visually make it obvious what we're doing. And I will change the fill of that to green, say for example. Right, something like that. Okay. So we're working our way, the chicken's moving from here to here to here to here. We're moving up, right? And we are at a grass strip, and so now we're going to pick a road strip. So we have options. We can either pick this road strip, or we can pick this one. But we can't pick one of these two right here, because that wouldn't make sense. We wouldn't want to pick a strip like this, because you wouldn't go from a grass strip to a road that has a dividing line. Now what you could do is you could have it where the dividing line is at the top, like this. Okay, well that makes sense because we are jumping onto a road, the dividing lines at the top. Well, so here we have some options. Let me duplicate this and move it back over here, right? So these are my strip sources on the top here. And here's where I'm actually going to be drawing the road, the various road criteria. So here I am as the chicken on the grass. I jump on this road. Well, I have one of two choices. I can either pick this one over here randomly, because then that is going to be another road, or I can pick this one randomly. And then that will be it, right? No more road, because we have a road traveling from west to east and from east to west. And so the next strip is going to have to be a grass strip. So I think you see how we have to think about this approach. And we go from there. So in this case, since if I have this strip, I only have two options, either the one with the dividing lines on the top or the bottom, or this one. And so let's say that randomly I pick this. All right. So now I have a road that goes from east to west, west to east. And so then from this point, I would then pick a grass strip. And then we would, again, pick a road randomly. It could be this one, or it could be this one. Actually, the top one, right? All right, so that was one particular alternative. Let's try another one. Okay, so randomly pick either a road like this or a single strip. And so we randomly pick this one. So let me go ahead and duplicate that. Move it over here. All right. Randomly pick one of the other strips, but it can't be this one, obviously, because you're going to need dividing lines on the bottom. So it can be this one or this one. So randomly pick one of these, and let's say that I pick this one, okay? So I'm going to duplicate that, put it over here, great. And then I'm going to randomly pick another one, all right? So it can either be this one right here, because let's say that we can have a total of 4 strips. Okay, so I randomly pick this one. So I'll just go ahead and duplicate it, put that right here. Let me move these up a little bit so that, actually I'll zoom out. Make it a little bit easier for us to see the design of our game in terms of the roads, right? So here are the sources, here are the roads that I can pick from. So far I've picked this. Well, since I have already 3 roads that I've displayed, then I have to display the 4th road, because this one here is the middle one, this guy over here, with the dividing lines on the top and the dividing lines on the bottom. So that being the case, I have to pick this one. It can't be random. Because of my previous design, oops, I'm sorry, I picked the wrong one. Sorry about that. I meant the one with the lines on the bottom. I apologize here. This is what I want. I have to do this. Because if the max number of roads that I can have after a grass strip is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is like a freeway, right? But we got traffic going all kinds of different directions in Crossy Road. So because I picked these initial 3, I have to pick this one as a 4th one. Then after that, I can go ahead and have another grass strip. And so it would look like that. And then we start the process all over again with another road. Okay, so that's another consideration. Now, another consideration is, let's say that we randomly pick one of the roads as described before, and we pick this one. Okay, well, if this one is picked, you already know, we've just described what happens if you pick this middle one where the strips are on the top and the dividing strips are on the bottom, or the dividing lines. Let's see what happens now. I can choose from this one or this one over here. So let's choose this one just to see how we would have to think about it. And then I'm forced to make a selection of a grass, right? Because by not selecting a road strip that has dividing lines on the top, then I'm forced to just simply put grass after that. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to be consistent. I'm trying to explain to you how we can be consistent with our design, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to be sloppy and do something like this. I mean, is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. But if you do something like that, it doesn't seem like a very elegant approach. That should not have been the correct road to sandwich in between the grass strips. This would have been the more appropriate one to select, because it's just a one-way road or a one-way strip. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Similar deal if I picked something like this. If I duplicate that and put that over here, you don't want this scenario. This implies that there has to be a road above it with dividing lines on the bottom. Let's do it again. Let's say if I have this guy over here and I sandwich those in between there like this. Oops. That doesn't look good either. So, we want to think about that, how this looks from the user's perspective. So what we will do is we will have to consider how we are storing these in the array and how we can select them. And you're kind of locked in. If you select this one, well, then you have to have a situation like this. That's it, right? You have to have the grass strip on the top, grass strip on the bottom, and there's no dividing lines on the top of the bottom, so we are restricted. If you pick this one, okay, so then we can't have this situation right here. We have to have it where we have something like this, say for example, or we have something like this, say for example. But then if we pick this one, we have to continue on. Now, we don't have to continue on to 4 roads. We could just continue on for 3 roads. Okay, I select randomly, so I selected this road. Okay, that's fine. Now you have to put a grass strip here. And so this will be a 3-road random configuration. So I hope that you understand what I'm trying to communicate, that we want to make it so that whatever strip that we pick, we kind of have limited options for the additional strips that we are going to be selecting in the future. Okay, and that's it. So this is Professor Robert Solis. I hope this video lesson was helpful. Have a good day. See you next time.